So good morning, everybody. My name is Brother Mark. I'm one of the licensed practitioners here at CSL Redlands, and welcome to our meditation portion of today's service. I'm going to invite you to become comfortable in your chair, mindful of your posture. You may want to have open palms, just relax gently on your knees or your upper thighs. And let's just take some deep breaths in together as we go into this time of stillness and sacred silence. Let's take a nice inhale in together and a gentle exhale out together. And on the inhale, we breathe in a divine breath now. And on the exhale, we exhale out anything that does not match a divine breath. Just let it all go with your breath. And in our inhale, let's inhale in a cleansing breath of the divine. Just breathe that all in. See it as love and light intelligence. Allowing it to permeate every atom and molecule, cell and fiber of your being with the divine, with good, with the capital G. Breathe that in. And exhaling out and releasing anything and everything that is unlike that perfect divine cleansing breath. Just let it go. May take a second exhale out now, just anything, any residue, letting it all go. We take in another divine breath with anything and everything that's in this breath that's most needed right here and right now for your soul's perfect evolution in this very moment in time. Let it be a healing, a transformation. It could be a physical healing. Let it be a transformation, a manifestation, a demonstration. Anything that you have been waiting for is here, and right now. As the universe always says yes to your greatest and highest possibility. And with the exhale, we release anything that doesn't match and doesn't serve us any longer. Just let it go. Willfully letting that go. And we inhale in another cleansing and clearing breath of the divine. Anything that needs to be removed from the conscious, subconscious, or unconscious mind. Anything that's blocking, hindering, deferring, denying, or delaying your highest expression. Just eradicate that with the light intelligence that you are. See it in your mind's eye now as clearing, cleansing, allowing it to be eradicated with ease and with grace, with certainty and surrender. And again with the exhale, releasing anything and everything that doesn't match the perfection of the divine breath. One more time, we take in the biggest divine breath you've ever had before in your life. Just letting it all in, the divine with the capital D. It knows exactly what is most needed in your soul right here and right now in this very moment. Allow for a healing, a transformation. Allow for your highest and best good to reveal itself to you with your breath. Just do that if you're willing. And with the release of the exhale, we surrender anything and everything that's unlike the highest idea, the highest thought, the highest vibration for your highest and best good. Just let it go with your breath. Surrender it now with your willingness. And just inviting everyone to return to your normal breathing pattern. And what a miracle it is that indeed This Spirit of the living God breathes us, often without our even thinking about it. That's how much it loves us. And so I invite you to consecrate this time of stillness and sacred silence to the remembering of this I am that I am. There is that place in each of us that has never been nor could ever be hurt, harmed, or endangered in any way. And I consecrate this time of stillness and remembering and recalling to the fueling and invigoration of this place within us. So in your mind's eye and with your breath, I invite you to find that place within you. It could be as simple as the heart space. It could be the visual that you might remember in the movie E.T. And infuse that place within you with this light and love intelligence, the divine breath. Are you breathing it, or does it breathe you? Nearer to you than your hands and your feet it is. Infuse it with your love and light, with your unconditional love and surrender. See it glowing, twinkling, white lights. It could be colorful lights as well, whatever comes to you. Infuse this area within yourself. I'm inviting you to do so that I can serve you now and forevermore in a bigger and bolder and brighter way. For it is with your activation that it becomes stronger, wider, bolder, thicker, deeper. And you can count on it. And we rest in this place with gratitude in our heart for each breath. Surrender to this place of perfect safety, of perfect security, of divine intelligence, divine wisdom, and universal good. Each breath infuses the spiritual muscle to be stronger and wider, bolder and thicker, corresponds to your yes and your willingness to surrender to it, to have its full sway in, through, and as your very life. Again, inviting you to breathe in the divine breath. Allow it to do a full cleanse. See it permeating from head to toe. Allow it to clear anything in the conscious, unconscious, subconscious. Allow it to clear any lower vibration, anything that no longer serves. And with each breath, we infuse that spiritual muscle to serve you in a bigger and bolder, brighter way than ever before. With each breath, we do this. And with each exhale, we release all the lower vibrations and frequencies. All the old patterns, all the fears and doubts and worries, all the trepidations, all the not enoughness, surrendered and evaporated to the ethers with our exhales. If you're willing, allow yourself to feel your own healing by your own permission. And so if you're willing, just allow for the heart space to fill with gratitude with each breath. Each exhale with even more gratitude. Each inhale with even more gratitude. Gratitude for our life, gratitude for the breath, gratitude for our perfect health, vitality, and wholeness. Gratitude for any insight. Gratitude for all revelation. Gratitude for every healing. Great expectancy for every demonstration and manifestation. I'm just inviting you to bring your awareness back with the next breath to the room and your space within the room. You may want to wiggle on the chair. Be certain you can feel the chair. You may want to tap your toes to the ground, feel your feet, feel Mother Earth and Gaia support you. And just when you're ready and in your own time, allow gently and easily for the outer eyes to open, the eyelids to open. We keep our third eye open, our inner eye, the knower that knows, with a grateful heart for this time of sacred silence and healing. You did the work if you were willing to build that space within you, that muscle that you can always rely on. You rely on it, it relies on you. This concludes our meditation portion of today's service. For each of you, I couldn't even be more grateful. And so it is. Namaste. The room fills up during meditation. It's awesome.
I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. And my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. And my soul is welcome here. Yeah, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. Welcome. Greet your neighbor. Welcome here. My soul is 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 welcome, and my soul is welcome here. Yeah, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. Getting the message loud and clear. Getting the message loud and clear. Your soul is welcome here. Here's Richard.
Thank you, Gilman. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Redlands. My name is Richard Borges, and I'm a member of the Board of Trustees. Our center is an open and inclusive community that honors all people and every background, all races, sexual orientations, gender expressions, and spiritual paths. No matter who you are or where you are on your spiritual journey, you are always welcome here. So our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence, and our vision is a world that works for everyone. If you are here with us for the first time, please raise your hand and let us greet you. There we go. Welcome, welcome. So we are so happy to have you with us in person for our service today, and we are grateful for your presence. If you are joining us remotely, thank you for being with us here this morning. Welcome, enjoy our service, and now our centering music by Gilman.
There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. There is only one of us. In your eyes, it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. You are my reflection. There is only one.
And so I just invite you to turn within, and we do the opening prayer for today's service. Let's just take a nice deep inhale in together for everyone who's watching remotely, everybody who's here in the sanctuary space. And we exhale out anything that's on a to-do list so we can be fully present in the right here and in the right now. Take in another divine breath. And release and cleanse anything that's of the lower vibration, anything that no longer serves you for your highest and best good. And as we return to our normal breathing pattern now, we're reminded that this power and this presence, this grace, this love, loves us so much that it made me and it made you in its image and likeness, perfect, whole, complete. Nothing missing, nothing lacking, nothing needing, nothing wanting. You are a divine reflection. You are a masterpiece of the divine. If you're willing to say that out loud or to yourself right here, right now, just say that with me. I am a masterpiece of the divine. I am a divine reflection. And it is from this place of knowing with certainty that right where I am, God is, right where you are, God is. From this place of unification and oneness, I speak a word of blessing for this service, knowing that it unfolds with ease and grace, surprise and surrender, with a intention of joy and healing, allowing for this sacred space to be a place that it has been for almost 70 years for higher knowing, spiritual truth with the capital S and T to be taught, to be maintained and sustained for the entire good of not only the local community, but the global, the world, right? It's a world energetic that we're part of the frequency of. And so we call forth for peace where there may be war. We call forth for food and supplies to reach those in need of food and supplies. We know that the music today allows a space, I call it forth in your mind's eye, in your conscious awareness for a fertile soil, for you to allow for a healing, a revelation, a transformation. Whatever is most needed for your soul's perfect journey at this very moment in time. It could be health and wholeness. It could be a new relationship. It could be a romance. It could be a new job. It could be a healing with a friendship or within the family unit. Whatever's most needed, God knows, Spirit knows, you know. For if it is Spirit that made you perfect, whole, and complete, then I proclaim that the same divine knower that knows, the same universal intelligence, call it what you wish, serves you. It serves you always for your highest and best good if you allow it. And it works best when you know it, right? When you cooperate. It works quickly and easily and effortlessly with joy and with grace. And so I bless our Reverend Carrie this day, knowing that her body temple serves her and supports her easily and effortlessly. There's no pain, there's no struggle, there's no strife. I bless our music and our board meeting later and all of our practitioner corps, everyone who's of service here, our congregants, and all the people who watch remotely. One day, let us know who you are. There's so many, I have no idea. We want to know you, right? And we know that God knows you. We know that Spirit knows you as that same masterpiece, as that same divine reflection. And so for any word that should have been spoken, I know that you know it's on your heart. Just say yes, 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 for your highest and greatest good. It's all part of the program. And I know it is done. I know it is complete. So I speak my word to the law of life with grateful joy and surrender, knowing it is done, it is answered. Yes, for the universe always says yes. It only knows to say yes. And so I allow it to be and invite you to say together with me, and so it is. And so it is. And so I'm going to do our reading first. And the reading was selected from Ernest Holmes' book, It's Up to You, and it's on page 18, paragraph 2. By spirituality, we mean a constructive atmosphere of goodness, truth, beauty, harmony, and reality. Such an atmosphere comes in such degree as one comes to believe, to understand, and to make use of the invisible presence, the invisible intelligence, which is what we mean when we speak of the Spirit or God. To be spiritually minded is to be whole-minded. To be whole-minded is to be holy. It means that we realize the complete unity of God and His creation. If we therefore demand from ourselves freely, openly, and emphatically a spiritual reaction to success, it means that we understand to complete unity and close relationship of all life and can more fully express prosperity and success. And do you mind just doing your divine reflection again?
A second.
Yeah, you don't mind? We're going to do a memorial in a moment, just as an honoring and a tribute, because yesterday was 9/11, as you may know, right? September 11, 20 years later. So let's just take the song in and pause in a moment of stillness and sacred reflection and silence for all the lives affected and lost.
There is only one of us. In your eyes it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one. There is only one of us. In your eyes as it's me I see. There is only one of us. You are my reflection. There is only one.
And so much was said. I don't know if did anybody watch TV yesterday or cable? Yeah, a lot of programs, right? A lot of programming about what happened 20 years ago. So when I was thinking about how to prepare for a memorial, okay, we'll just print everything. But what do you really want to talk about in this, right? So I brought something I thought was good. It was a few quotes, some powerful quotes by different people. And then I took notes from some posts that I saw that said on that day, 400 tons of pulverized asbestos and other hazardous materials, right, fell into the sky. People breathed that in, and it was estimated between 410,000 to 525,000 people, including 90,000 workers, were exposed to these chemicals, and they still, right now, right, it's still 20 years later, are still recovering and passing from different cancers and illnesses from this. Since 9/11, one post said that more than 24,000 people have been diagnosed with 9/11 cancer. One of our board members, Phil Courtney, wrote an opinion piece called Philosophically Speaking, I'm Crying Uncle, and he has copies for you in the back. You can see him after service. I was watching some programs and it was amazing. Did you know there's a book called Legacy Letters? And if I understood it properly, young kids who lost their one of their parents wrote letters. I think it was even 10 years ago. And it created a book, and then they interviewed those same kids now 10 years after that to reflect on the writings and the poetry that they did in the book. It was quite touching. So we know that on that day, almost 3,000 people were killed, right, in the attacks at the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and aboard the United Airlines Flight 93. There were some quotes from very famous people, and I wanted to read a few, and some were just relatives, and I thought they were really powerful. Even the smallest act of service, the simplest act of kindness, is a way to honor those we lost, a way to reclaim that spirit of unity that followed 9/11. That's a former president. And this is from the wife of the Flight 93 pilot, Jason Dahl. Her name is Sandy Dahl. If we learn nothing else from this tragedy, we learn that life is short and there's no time for hate. And this is from Anthula Katsamatidis. Where's Marika? Is that the right pronunciation? All right. And this was spoken at the World Trade Center site in 2005. My older brother John lived his life in Technicolor. When he walked in the door, the whole house lit up, and I'm sure heaven lit up when he got there too. And then from former President George W. Bush at the Pentagon in 2008. One of the worst days in America's history, saw some of the bravest acts in Americans' history. We'll always honor the heroes of 9/11. And here at this hallowed place, we pledge that we will never forget their sacrifice. From Catherine Hernandez at the World Trade Center in 2008. My father, Norberto, was a pastry chef at Windows on the World in Tower 1. For 10 years, he made fancy and famous desserts, but the sweetest dessert he made was the marble cake he made for us at home. Whenever we parted, Papi would say, "Te amo, vaya con Dios." And in this morning, I want to say the same thing to you, Papi. I love you. Go with God. And author David Levitan says, what separates us from the animals, what separates us from the chaos, is our ability to mourn people we never met. I think that sums that up. And let's just take another moment of just stillness and sacred silence to say that there were children. You'll hear interviews from children who were 2, who never met, that don't have any memory of their dad. But I know one is, they said they're taking a hike in Denver. They're skipping the formal ceremonies, and they just take a long hike in nature, the mom and the young man who's now 22. So we just remember, we have a compassion, right? In our teaching, we're taught if it's really a world that works for everyone, then we make a place just to hold with compassion and empathy all those suffering from loss and possibly even still suffering. And so let's just take that breath in together. We send this love and light and healing intelligence and energy as our memorial from CSL Redlands to all those affected. They are a divine reflection, and so it is.
Thank you, Brother Mark.
I'm going to sing a song. Okay. A different song. Okay. Here's Gilman.
Reverend Carrie's going to be talking about inclusion here. Transcend and include. So I thought this song might be appropriate. Ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we all know that people are the same wherever you go. There is good and bad in everyone. We try to learn when we learn to give each other what we need to survive. Together alive, ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we? We all know that people are the same wherever you go. There is good and bad in everyone. We learn to live when we learn to give each other what we need to survive. Together alive, ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my piano keyboard. Oh Lord, why don't we? Side by side on my piano keyboard. Here's Reverend Carrie.
Thank you so much, Gilman. I really like that song because it really speaks to my heart about being inclusive of everyone, no matter what they look like. If they're black keys on the piano or white keys on the piano, they all work together in harmony. I love that. Thank you, Mark, for that beautiful opening prayer and that lovely memorial. And thank you all for being here this morning. Wow, I'm really happy that I'm here this morning. I've had quite the week, and I want to begin all of this by saying thank you to all of our practitioners who did treatment for me this week. And I know that Mark usually is my backup person for here, so I know that he was really instrumental in doing treatment all week long. Just only imagine, in constant prayer. But I want to tell you what happened because it fits into what I want to talk about this morning. The universe stopped me. Have you ever had that happen, where the universe says, all right, stop. You cannot do one more thing. You have to just be. And that's what happened. I simply bent over and apparently twisted wrong, knocked something out of place. It hurt so bad that I couldn't stand up and I fell to the floor. So I managed to, after a while, get myself back up. And I went straight to my nurse daughter who was home. And it's so handy to have a nurse at home, you know? And so I told her what happened, and she said, okay, let's get this cream on you. So she put some cream on me. She gave me some Tylenol or acetaminophen, I'm not even sure, and a hot pack and a cold pack. So that's what I've been doing since Tuesday. Hot pack, cold pack, cream, sometimes CBD cream. That works wonders. And all of it worked together to help me be able to walk and stand upright and so forth. In my being state, having to lay there on the hot packs and the cold packs, what came to me is that there is something for me to reflect upon. There's something for me to do some spiritual work about. And in my meditation, it came to me that I needed to do some forgiveness work. Bingo. Forgiveness is part of the topic this morning, and as I was doing that forgiveness work, what came to me is that it wasn't, of course, forgiveness for other people, but it was forgiveness for myself. That's the biggest piece of the forgiveness work that we can do. You know, in Scripture it says that Jesus explained that we need to forgive 70 times 7 or 70 times 77, or you could just go on and on with that. The number 7 is the number of completion, and he instructed us to forgive until it's complete. I had the experience of a first husband who, bless his heart, had as many issues as I had. And so our marriage became, it was static. There was a lot of static going on in that marriage. And there was a lot of hurtful things going back and forth. And when the marriage ended, what I realized is that I get to do the forgiveness work for him and the forgiveness work for me for allowing myself to be drawn into that relationship and to experience what I experienced. Then, as that forgiveness work kept going on, I realized then that doing that work allowed me to untie myself emotionally from him. You see, there's an invisible thread in the universe that ties us, and for me it ties around the waist, so it ties around my low back, and that thread reaches out and is tied to the person that I have not yet forgiven. But the forgiveness work allows me to untie that thread, and that's what happened with my dear first husband. He taught me so much. And it is part of what I want to speak about this morning, because forgiveness is compassion. I was working with a client some years ago, and she had a boss that she was really having a difficult time working with. The boss was kind of a micromanager, and it was really difficult. And so I suggested to my client in one of our sessions that we go into a meditation, and I guided her to visualize her boss as a young child. And what did that young child look like? And then to offer her love and her acceptance and her forgiveness and her compassion toward this young child. And so she explained to me at the end of our session that she actually saw herself in meditation bringing that young child up onto her lap and hugging her. And very soon after that, their relationship began to be a little better. It was a little easier for her to work with this woman. And then the woman was transferred to a different office, and a new boss came in. But you see, she did her inner work in order to make her life far more manageable. Now, when we are moving through life and someone cuts us off on the freeway, or we have someone who has said something to us that really hurt our feelings, or if an organization has done something that has really bothered us or hurt us, or if a nation has done something to this nation, like what happened 20 years ago, it's important for us to remember to take time to be with that and understand that we get to do our own inner work to forgiveness. What that's doing is making us rise higher, to transcend the situation. If we continue to talk about all of the hurt that we've experienced, and boy, could I talk about my first husband. Wowee, I had story after story after story, and I didn't mind telling anybody who'd listen. You see, and I was in my story. And when we get into our story, when we just can't help ourselves talking about it, what happens is we perpetuate that whole situation, and it keeps coming back time and time and time again. Or the old situation never leaves our consciousness. And so there we are in that unhappy time. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's important for us then to allow ourselves to do the forgiveness work, to share our compassion with another person, with another group, with another country, with those people who don't look like us. There's a lot of people on the planet, have you noticed? And all of us are different. Every single one of us. I was at one of the churches that I ministered at. There was a lovely congregation of mostly Caucasian gray-haired people. And this congregation was so sweet. And no one had ever walked into their sanctuary that looked any different than them until one day. These two ladies walked in. They were tall, they were statuesque, they looked like models, and they just kind of floated down the center aisle just as the service was beginning. So everybody was there and could see. And they each had on outfits that were quite colorful, dresses and really stunning shoes. And one of the women had, I think, pink and purple hair. And the other one had hair that was spiked. Now, this was quite unusual for this congregation, but the most unusual part is that these two women were tatted from head to toe. So you can imagine all of these eyes looking at these women as they were walking in to sit down and join us. And I found a way that Sunday to talk about inclusion and how important it is for us to include everyone into our experience, because everyone is a blessing. Everyone has a gift to bring. And it worked. Those two ladies were a part of that congregation and still are today. And but they were there because they wanted what we had. They wanted this good philosophy to help change their lives. So you see, we get to embrace all people, even those people that we have had to forgive over and over and over again. There are so many times when I can remember an instant in my own life that I did to someone else. So I get to do my forgiveness work and then send them love and compassion. You know the invisible thread that I talked about that's tied around us and the person that we won't let go of in our mind? There's also a wireless connection, if you will. This wireless connection that will allow us to send our love, our peace, our joy to any other person. We can do that. We can be inclusive enough to say, even when they're not in front of us, yes, I love you. You are the presence of the divine. We believe in this teaching that we have been created from the image and likeness of the infinite. True? Yes. And so because of that, each one of us is God in form. We are the divine in form. We're it. You see, God is, there's only one life. There's only one presence and power in the universe. And we get to individualize or individuate that presence and power throughout the universe. We are the creative presence in our own life. Wow. So is everyone else. Everyone else. Even the people who did those horrendous acts. People who've done horrendous acts throughout history. All of them are the presence of God. And I know, yeah, you're probably saying, wow, she has gone off the deep end this morning. Well, the thing is, what we are all here to do, because we are one, there is only one of us, because we're all one, we are here to create a higher vibration of healing for this planet. And you know, when there is something to be healed in your body, there's stuff going on. You might have a runny nose, you might have a headache, your back might go out, all kinds of things. You might have to have surgery. There's all kinds of things that happen before the healing can happen. And so we're in a time where all these things are happening because we have been praying and been knowing the truth that peace is the truth. for our planet. But there has to be some bubbling up of things that need to be healed, and that is what's happening. That's what's happening in our individual lives right here this morning in this Center for Spiritual Living, in every organization across the planet, and in every country. Things are bubbling up for healing. And so to be inclusive is to be compassionate. To really include and embrace another person, even though you don't know them. Embrace them. Know that they are the light of God in front of you. They are the divine right there. That allows us to live a life that is more full and more vibrant and filled with so much goodness. There are so many people that I know that are different from me, of course. Who isn't? But we're all different from each other, but we're all one. And all of those people bring all of their gifts into my life, and I bring my gifts into theirs. And so if we include everyone, we get more goodies, we get more gifts. So this morning, the whole theme for this month is rising higher. And this morning we're rising higher, going up the mountain to a higher place in consciousness. When I lived in Washington State, our church group had an outing to Mount Rainier, to a easy hike, quote unquote. There are some steep trails at Mount Rainier. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous mountain. And my roommate wasn't able to complete the easy hike, and so she went and sat with some other people who couldn't complete it. And so I just kept trucking. I was going right along, and then it occurred to me there's other people on this path, and we're all in different places, and we're all at different levels of fitness. I was just a walker, and so we're just chugging up the mountain, all in different places, doing our thing in order to get to the end of the trail, not to the top of the mountain. That would take way too much. My goodness. I tried one of those trails just for a little bit. I tried going straight up, and I said, never mind, I'll go back down. But you see, we are all on a path up the mountain, up the same mountain. We are all people on this planet, on other planets. We're all on the same mountain. And so it behooves us to share our compassion, to share our forgiveness, to share our peace. That allows us to receive the gifts that come to us from those people. So this week, our spiritual practice is something like this. This week, we're going to honor and recognize the image of God in every person. Can you do that? Honor and recognize the image of God in every person. So you can practice that this morning. Just turn to somebody nearby and point to them and say, I see God in you. Yeah, I see God in you. You can do that silently or out loud if you want to. In any line, at the doctor's office, at the grocery store, people might look at you funny. But the thing is, we're practicing including everyone, including God, into our life. And then We also, when we have recognized and we have honored the God within other people, then we can be completely authentic in our own way to allow ourselves to respect and validate them, to be right there when someone is talking to us, to just be with them in that moment. It's a gift. It's a gift. So that's our spiritual practice for this week. And yes, I invite you to do some forgiveness work, because I believe there's no other work more important on this planet, especially now, than forgiveness work for ourselves and other people. So our affirmation for today, I don't want to use the affirmation they gave us. Yeah,eener. So our affirmation for today is, I forgive, I include, and I am free. Okay, so let's try that on. I forgive, I include, and I am free. Yes, all right, let's say that one more time loudly and with enthusiasm. I forgive, I include, I am free. And so it is. Namaste.
So, she's talking about climbing up the mountain. That reminded me of a famous quote. Maybe you've heard it before. It's not the climb up the mountain that wears you out. It's that stone in your shoe. Maybe the stone is called forgiveness. Anyway, so one day you're a firefighter. The next day, suddenly you're called to be something more. I am called to be a healer for all humanity. I am called to be a dreamer, believe in what can be. I am called to be a maker, be an instrument of peace. I am called to be a giver, of abundance I receive. I am called to be a prayer, living out the truth I seek. I am called to be everything. I am called to be the glory here on earth, so all might see all the love and all of the beauty that shines in you and me. I am the living, breathing God, and you are one in me. We're called to be are called to be a mother, to nurture family. You are called to be a brother, be strength in times of need. You are called to be a neighbor, see a friend in all you meet. You are called to be a leader, to build community. You are called to be a prayer, living out the truth you seek. You are called to be everything. You are called to be the glory here on earth, so all might see all the love and all the beauty that shines in you and me. I am the living, breathing God, and you are one in me. We're called to be. We are called to be the kindness, set the broken-hearted free. We are called to be forgiveness, where pain has run too deep. We are called to be compassion, be the wind beneath each wing. We are called to make communion, only then can we succeed. We are called to be a prayer, living out the truth we seek. We are called to be everything. We are called to be the glory here on earth, so all might see all the love and all of the beauty that shines in you and me. I am the living, breathing God, and you are one in me. We're called to be peace, called to be joy, called to be love, called to be peace, called to be joy, called to be love, called to be peace, called to be joy, called to be. It's written by Faith Rivera. Once again, here's Richard.
That was a really good song.
Isn't that a great one? Carrie made me learn that.
That was really good. So, announcements. Well, I was called to do the announcements today. Right. So here they are. Tomorrow evening, right here in the sanctuary, our new class begins. Is it tomorrow evening? Wow, that's fast. It is the art and science of spiritual mind treatment. We will learn to pray from a deep placing of knowing, and everyone is invited to attend. This is an 8-week class, and the first class is open to anyone who wishes to see what it will be like. Contact Reverend Carrie for more information or to register for this class, which I'm still going to do. Yes. Every Wednesday night on Facebook Live, practitioner Renee Hart facilitates a meditation and shares her weekly message. It is online at facebook.com/cslredlands.org from 7 to 8 p.m. and all are invited. 2 weeks from today, Reverend Carrie will host a 1-hour Get Acquainted time beginning at 11:30. This is open to all, especially those who are new to our center. Reverend Carrie and our practitioners are available after service each Sunday for brief prayer or conversation. If you are watching on Facebook Live this morning, message us with a request to speak with us and we will connect with you. You're invited to join us after service for food and fellowship time. Thank you. All right.
Right. It's time for our offering now. This is a time where we get to share all of our love with this center. And it also opens up that door to that law of circulation, the law of giving and receiving, because everything that we give, we also receive. And if you don't believe me, take a breath in. Just do it now. Just take a breath in. No breath out. No breath out. Just a breath in. You see, if we only take, then we aren't able to give. Then it just stalls that whole circulation, and we certainly do want to keep breathing, don't we? All right. So, we will be taking our offering here in the sanctuary this morning, but if you're watching us online, you can donate using Facebook, the button there on the Facebook page and on the website. You can also use Venmo and Zelle, which is my new favorite way to give. You can also give using PayPal, and you can even write a check, and we also take cash. So we're going to say our offering affirmation, and then we will give. From the love of pure spirit within me,
Pure spirit within me.
I bless this gift.
Bless this gift.
I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
Send it forth to heal and bless and prosper.
It is evidence of my faith and my belief.
It's evidence of my faith and my belief.
It does great work in the world,
It's great work in the world.
and it returns to me multiplied abundantly.
It treats me multiplied.
And so it is.
So yes. As I give, so do I receive joyfully, gratefully. As I give, so do I receive fully and freely. God is a river where abundance flows. Stepping into it, I accept and know. As I give, so do I receive. As I give, so do I receive.
We're going to take a moment to bless all of these beautiful gifts, and so we just take this time to recognize that these gifts are coming from that infinite source that is God, that is the divine, that is abundance. And I know that these gifts that have been given are a blessing to this center and a blessing to the world. I know too that each person who has given this morning is blessed and is abundantly filled with new prosperity. And so I give thanks for all that is given, and I just give thanks and I let it be, and so it is.
So it is.
Yes. All right. It is time for our healing prayer. And so I'm just going to take a moment to just move into that wonderful place, that centered place. So I invite you to join me there. You can do this by closing your outer eyes, taking a nice big deep breath. And in this moment, we recognize that there is only one life, one power, one presence, one perfection. And this one life expresses itself throughout the universe. It is that unconditional love that expresses through all nature, through every person, through all of life. And I know that this presence, this one power, has created all of this because it loves us all so much that we get to be here to experience it all. And so in this oneness, I speak my word to know the truth for each one of us here this morning. I know that whatever needs to be healed in each of our lives is already healed in this moment. It was healed before the words were spoken. And so we just simply allow this healing to reveal the perfection within us. And if there is any forgiveness work that needs to be done, this work is done with ease and grace. And every person that we forgive is able to lift themselves a little higher in the world in their consciousness. And we are able to set them free to live in abundance, to live in perfect health, to live in joyous love. I speak my word for each one of us as we move through the rest of this day and the rest of this week. I know that we are guided and directed, pointed in the right way to go, shown the path we need to take. And I know for each of us that inner guide, that intuitive voice speaks loud enough for us to hear and understand and know, so that we are always in the right place at the right time, doing all that we are here to do, all that we are called to be. I speak my word for this Center for Spiritual Living. I know that we are an amazing, beautiful, thriving center of spiritual living, where we live the principles of the science of mind, and where we teach them by our example, just as Jesus did. I know that this center is blessed in everything that it does. Every person who steps through our doors is blessed by that infinite love that is God within these walls. And I know that this center, too, is a beautiful beacon of light throughout this community, blessing all people who drive by, all those who walk by, everyone who even thinks of us. We are a light in this community. And I know that this is true for this center, just as it is true for every house of worship in this community. There is a bright light shining in this community. There are so many beautiful ways for worship. And we honor and bless each activity that takes place in this community, in houses of worship everywhere. Every mosque, every synagogue, every church, every center, every person walking in nature, all of it is blessed. And I take this moment to speak my word for this center's attraction of the perfect minister to lead this church forward into the next 70 years. So I know that this minister is making his or her way to this center. Oh. And I know that we are blessed by their presence. The community is blessed by their presence, and we are a blessing to them. So I give thanks. I give thanks knowing that all the words that I have spoken have already been worked on by that beautiful creative process that we call the law. And as the law is working on these words, everything is already unfolding and is already manifest. And I am so grateful to know this truth. And so in this gratitude, I release my words into the law, into the heart of spirit, knowing it is already done. And so we can all say together, and so it is.
So it is.
Amen. Oh, yes.
I just needed to do a quick sharing, and Reverend Carrie was indulging me. So we did a memorial service this morning. We may do another one right now, or next week, or every week. When Reverend Carrie, she hardly ever asks for a special request, and she said, if you're open to it, to do the memorial that we did today, and then going that stillness and silence caused me to cross. Like, I don't know why, but this is for somebody, so I'm going to say what came to me. We forgot about the 10,500 people who died of COVID last week. About 1,500 per day. That's a lot of people. I mean, that's a lot of, there's over 600, right? 650,000 people lost. I watched my own parents, they're in their late 80s, mid to late 80s, so sometimes I'll go down there and do errands with them, and they think it's fun to go to Costco, which if you ever want to torture me, take me there. And they like to go there unmasked, because they said that nobody else, people don't wear them. And so it dawned on me in the reflection for the earlier memorial that I don't want us as human beings, if indeed we are one and we're climbing up the mountain that you spoke about, and anybody was paying attention in today's talk, to think that we should become used to such incredible loss, right? So I don't believe it's political to care about a pandemic. I don't think it's political. We were asked and we're trained not to use the pulpit for anything political. If I offend you, I might be okay with that. So see me later, privately, and I'll see if I owe an apology to anybody, I will. But I was thinking of my deep spirit when I was thinking of the memorial, was thinking, okay, if the towers represent the world and the planes represent COVID, and the first responders are the nurses and the paramedics and the doctors having to fight, a vaccine may be the way to press the elevator button and get down and out. It may be, maybe 90%. Just came to me very strongly just to share that, what are we doing? What are we doing? And that was that. So I just don't want us to ever forget the people lost. Each one is as precious, right? Each one is precious. And so that is that for today. Thank you for allowing that. So we hold that. We want to hold that in a place of empathy.
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all by myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. Now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go, let it all go. This is what you have to say: I release, now let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Thank you. See you next week.